Hey, everybody. This is your daily dose of all things royal. Welcome back, my gorgeous, good looking friends. On April 13th, 2023, Envoyé Spécial did an exclusive on Meghan and Harry. During this brilliant expose, they managed to focus a little portion on BetterUp. We saw the journalists take time to look at the company and get some background information, as well as talk to a current employee. And in this conversation the journalists had with the BetterUp employee, established that BetterUp really has a toxic work environment. Well, since this expose had been released out, BetterUp turned around and cranked out some more Glassdoor reviews, obviously 5-star Glassdoor reviews, as part of improving their brand image and also combating all the negative Glassdoor reviews that have been ongoing for the last several months, exposing this toxic work environment and the abuse that these employees have been getting. But even in the attempt to try and inflate the image by putting these false, I want to say, reviews just to bump up their score and their image, the negative reviews are still coming in. And I'm committed to sharing those voices that are not being heard and those that are suffering. It's unacceptable that you have people like the Prince Harrys who sit up making decisions and don't practice what they preach. So we're going to go through the most recent ones, and I encourage you guys to continue to keep sharing this because it's not right. And from the way society works these days is, people who are being treated badly, if it's not pushed out on a global scale and the media doesn't pick it up, then nothing gets done. So this is all about shaming a company that is preaching and virtue signaling to do X, Y, and Z when they themselves in their own house are not practicing it and causing severe damage. This company is pushing hard to go public, and you know what that means. Once they go public, guess who's all going to cash out? The entire leadership, because that's what really they're there for. They don't give a shit about the employees because in their deluded little heads think that they can replace people just like that, which obviously is not working too well for them. It's these type of companies that have people like the Prince Harrys running the show is why society is becoming the way that it is. It's this mental mind F that they are legitimately hurting people in order to get rich. The first one is dated April 27, 2023, and they're a former employee and they were a technical recruiter. So this person looks like they just gave up. They didn't even want to even regurgitate the toxicity. So they say the pros, not available, and nothing worth writing in this section. And then the cons, everything. The culture is smoke and mirrors. The leaders are a good old boys club. They treat employees horrible. I don't think you can say any more. Part of me wonders how much of an influence is Prince Harry in this company, considering does he ever go to work? I mean, he's got all this other stuff that he has been attending to. When does he actually do any kind of work? Is he ever at the office? I mean, we all know that it's been rumored that he has been staying in San Fran, so maybe, but if he is staying in San Fran and is doing work there, then he's essentially killing this company. So BetterUp needs to think about who they have on board and recognize that this is a sinking ship. On to the next one, dated April 30th, 2023, 1 star. Title, Bringing Your Whole Self Shouldn't Be This Hard. And they are located in New York. The pros, they say, great benefits, perks, and onboarding experience. I really felt like I was part of something special early on and worked with some really exceptional teammates and cross-functional partners, people I still maintain friendships with. As an employee, you get access to coaching throughout your employment and even 2 months after you inevitably leave. One of the most valuable perks, in my opinion, that will help you navigate challenges described below. Here we go, guys. The cons. A cursory glance through the many honeymoon phase 5-star reviews on Glassdoor. Yes, our entire new hire cohort was shamelessly requested to submit these, coupled with discussions with newer AEs and an exceptional interview process, created the illusion of a company that had their act together. I was bamboozled. First, if you've ever worked at a fast growing, agile, and performance driven startup sales environment, you'll find the experience at odds here. The organization is run in the traditional command and control style of leadership: no empowerment, no advocacy for change, and no tolerance for dissent. Gaslighting is a common theme, as is victim mindset labeling. This stands in stark contrast to their values: practice imagination and extreme ownership. The pressure to perform in sales is no different here than in any SaaS organization. The difference is in go to market execution and lack of sales leadership experience and support, resulting in a loss of psychological safety and, as some of my ex colleagues confided, impact to mental health. The overall sense of entitlement and arrogance at the leadership level isn't going to help their ICs close deals, and certainly isn't going to help BetterUp capture a category. Woo, that's brutal. Working in New York is really tough. It's like a totally different beast. And, there's a reason for this saying: if you can make it here, you literally can make it anywhere, because it is a cutthroat place to work in. So add that onto this type of stress, forget it. If anything, this is where BetterUp should be practicing what they preach in this healthy mindset, because some of the most unhealthy mindsets in New York City can end up killing you due to the fast pace, go, go, go. You literally don't have time to stop and eat or even go to the bathroom, because it's meeting after meeting after meeting. And before you know it, your life is your job. And this is what New York City is. It's all about making money, money, money. This is where, if anything, BetterUp should be shining and excelling on their services, but they're not. So, what does that tell you? It's crap. Advice to management, as if they're really going to take this seriously. Number one, get your head out of the sand and take a page from your own book by actually doing exit interviews, or at the very least, send follow up anonymous surveys to the exiting employees. That data would be rich with behavioral insights and blind spots that need to be addressed. Yeah, okay, good luck with that. Number two, it's time to take a good hard look in the mirror and start practicing what you preach. Eliminate the narcissistic leaders that are weaponizing behavior science against their own sellers. Here's the twist: they themselves are the ones with limiting beliefs. Sounds like Megan has been stopping by. Eliminate favoritism and embrace dissent. Only then you will see your sellers thrive and their capacity to innovate and solve problems reach new heights. Psychological safety should be one of your superpowers, not your kryptonite. That sounds all great, but let's be real here. Are any of them looking at this? No. But we are, and I am more than happy to give this person a voice. On to the next. Dated May 5th, 1 star. Misaligned values. The pros: great mission, smart people, good technology. The cons: management is focused on the wrong things. And here's the question: why did you quit? If it was great mission, smart people, good technology, and you say that management is focusing on the wrong things, well, what should they be focused on? Here in this situation, there's no context, so you can not really take this review too seriously, especially if there's no context behind it. So, in my opinion, we're just going to have to put this one aside. This next one, dated May 8th, is brutal. Given 1 star, this is a current employee who has been there now for over 3 years. The title: An Abundance of Hypocrisy and Toxicity. They don't recommend the company, they don't recommend the CEO, and yeah, thumbs down on the business outlook. The pros: Some of the smartest colleagues I've worked with in my career. Great mission, and you can visibly see the impact it has on people's lives. If you've never worked at a startup, you will learn a ton in a short time. Okay, fair enough. The cons, let's see what they say. Number one, decisions are made in an ivory tower with executives who take no consideration of implementation or the human element. Never share a dissenting opinion with leadership because you're only wasting energy. That is, unless you're a McKinsey or Bain alum, in which case they are all ears and will implement what you say immediately. Number two, abysmal communication and working in silos are the norm and often promoted. It's the year of the manager, but managers get very little cascade or context for their teams and yet are penalized for the team performance. It is incredibly common for you to find out what is happening in your department from a cross functional coworker rather than your manager. Number three, inequitable support functions. Leadership only invests in other leadership and not actual support roles to do the strategy execution. How do you expect any progress to be made when you continue to increase director, VP bloat, and not in people who actually do the work? Groups like IT, brand, analytics, and sales ops are selective in who and what they support, leaving the rest on their own. Number four, no opportunity for vertical progression unless you play internal politics. If you're connected to an OG, which I would assume is an original person who founded the company, don't worry about this. You will get promoted, a bonus, a raise, no matter what. If you're not connected, good luck on not getting downscoped this year. If you've already haven't, but don't worry, you can keep whatever title you want on LinkedIn, and that's what's important. Number five, another reviewer put it perfectly: gaslighting. It is so prevalent here, and it starts from the very top. No matter how bad the emotional abuse or burnout, if you don't feel and act obsessively grateful for working here at all times, the strong implication, and often verbalized, is you shouldn't be here. They dangle the carrot of lives being impacted, which sucks you in to take on more abuse. Oof, that sounds horrible. Number six, you also saw this in other reviews. It is incredibly common to weaponize the high impact behaviors against you. When you try to hold someone accountable, you're not exhibiting extreme ownership and a bias towards action, and you should do their work as well. Now, keep in mind, guys, this is a person who is currently an employee. If you're listening out there by any chance, my advice: get out now. At this point, I think they should take the advice of their chimpo and just quit. If you don't like it, quit the job. This doesn't sound worth it in any way. Forget about making an impact because even the people that are running this company don't really care about making an impact. They're really just caring about getting in and cashing out. The CEO really only cares about making money because if he truly embodied what he has built here and believed in it, then he would understand that he needs to make his people happy. He has a perfect environment to use this service, apply it, practice these principles that they keep virtue singling out to other people as their advice to actually show that their own company is a use case. The stupidity of what I'm seeing going on here shows how much influence brand management, PR, marketing plays in promoting and putting on this facade. Wall Street is not going to see this as any kind of tech unicorn. So I don't know what delusions that they're riding under, but they need to get it together if they seriously think that they're going to take this company public. This person's advice to management says, don't chalk these reviews up to people being dramatic or reactionary. You have the opportunity to do better, and you can. Take a hard look at leadership. Look at the lack of diversity and why you have ego filled people at the top. The toxicity starts at the top. Eat your own dog food or drink your own champagne since you like being cute. And practice empathy for your employees. The utter lack of humanity your leadership team exhibits is mind blowing. Want to know why people leave? This is your number one reason. Have a strategy and stick to it for more than 2 weeks. There's no way to determine success if you change the goalposts every 2 weeks and penalize teams for not being able to mind read your upcoming decisions. Stop relying on consultants to tell you what to do and use the actual subject matter experts with true experience to help guide decisions. And again, you have some incredibly smart people working here. Rip the band aid and just do the layoffs. Performance culture is your current workaround for not having to do the paperwork of calling it a layoff. But if you stop treating your employees like they can't read between the lines and showed empathy and respect, the short term pain of layoffs would be tolerated much more than the charade that is happening now. Along the same lines, really think about the personnel decisions you are making. You love to harp on prospection goggles, so use them. When an employee transfers to a different department, or you performance manage them out, or you came to an agreement that it's best for the company to cut them, do you have an actual transition plan? Or are you going to be leaving a trail of disaster and unsupported staff to suffer? It's always the second. Also, how many times have you cut the same role and then turned around only to hire it again immediately? Here's what I think this person doesn't understand. The executives don't care about the employees, and everything that they do is based off of dollars and cents. They see each employee as an asset, and each asset has a cost per head. In this situation, this person says, well, why not rip the band aid off and give them a layoff? Well, here's the thing, it costs more to give a layoff because in these packages, when you put them together, you're going to probably have to give them at least a month's worth or 2 months worth of salary and then benefits to go on top of it versus if they put you in some type of performance plan and then have reason to fire you, then you go off to the government and apply for unemployment as if they fire you and you can qualify for unemployment and then you get 6 months of cobra. Doing that versus giving a layoff package is far cheaper than doing this extra paperwork. Believe me, I don't think it's the extra paperwork. It is all about money. And what's interesting is that they're saying that they go ahead and rehire these jobs again. I wonder if this is all part of maybe they finish a project and once they're done with the project, then they fire them. Because I've read in some of these interview questions that while they're doing these interviews, they may ask some of these folks to go ahead and solve problems that they're currently working on, almost to get free advice without having to pay for it. So when he thinks about being, more humane and compassionate, you're not going to get it at this company. They've already showed what they're all about. And take a look at your executive leadership. You have Prick Harry, who's sitting at the top, who has zero compassion for anyone. It still blows my mind that this company is still allowing Prince Harry to represent this brand, considering how mentally unstable he is, as well as toxic to anybody that he comes in contact with. Obviously, this is not about having good people on the team. This is about who you know and who can open up doors and what deals can be made. All Harry is access. Because he is a member of the royal family, doesn't matter if he's the degenerate of the family. High net worth individuals will take a meeting if he calls. That's just reality. I almost wonder if Harry transferred over to a work visa. And what does that mean if the Heritage Foundation finds out that he did admit to drug use on the application originally, but now it's switched over to a work visa? I wonder how that will impact his stay here in the United States. Something tells me nothing's going to happen, but If he has moved over to a work visa and that's why he's hanging on to staying here and working with BetterUp, then that would make more sense. If he was under this O1 visa, then I could see it be easily taken away because of other celebrities who have had that happen to them. But in a work visa, it might be a little different because then the company would then vouch, I believe, for Harry. I'll have to keep my eye out on that one. Anyhow, let's finish this up. The last review, dated May 9th, 2023, given 1 star, and this is a current employee of more than 1 year, titled Smoke and Mirrors, and it's red across the board, saying that the pros. I've had the pleasure of working alongside some of the most intelligent colleagues in my career. Our company's mission is admirable and has a significant impact on people's lives, which is very rewarding to see. As someone who's never worked at a startup before, I've learned a lot in a short amount of time, which is exciting. My direct leader is exceptional and genuinely cares about my well being, which is a great feeling. Being a part of a startup offers a unique and dynamic learning experience where you get to be involved in a variety of tasks and responsibilities. This can be an excellent opportunity to develop new skills and gain valuable experience that can benefit your career in the long run. A major part in being successful in any job is having a good working relationship with your boss. It makes things bearable if you're working for somebody that you like, even if the company is shit. As it sounds like it expressed in the cons of this review. This person says executives in their ivory tower make decisions without considering implementation or the human element. Gaslighting is pervasive, starting at the top. If you don't exhibit obsessive gratitude for working there, emotional abuse and burnout are ignored. The carrot of impacting lives is dangled to justify additional abuse. The high impact behaviors are often weaponized against you when you try to hold someone accountable. Rather than exhibiting extreme ownership and a bias towards action, you're also expected to do their work. Support from ISR and marketing is non existent despite promises being made. ISR ratio was promised to be 3 to 1. In reality, it is 6 to 1 due to the shift in a strategy that was not cascaded by leadership. If we do not express any concern with this, we're not being extreme owners or doing the job to be done. Burnout is at an all time high, and the majority of the team is looking to leave as a result. Less than 10% of the AE team is actually hitting quota. Clearly, they're not practicing the scam that they're selling to the public. Remember the dog and pony show last year with Harry giving the sales pitch about inner work and how he took time to meditate every day because he was so burnt out? Look, I get it. Married to that, it's got to be exhausting. All this leaking and planting of stories to create this narrative that nobody believes, as well as the effort that it takes to trash your entire family on a global scale. Sure, I can understand how Harry is losing all his hair. As far as the employees go, maybe they should be taking their own product and applying it and allowing these employees to rest and to take time for themselves as opposed to giving their souls to an organization that doesn't give a shit about any of them. Honestly, the only way to affect change is to hit them where it hurts the most, and that's the wallet. And I think the more that we share and create this awareness around the psychological abuse that these employees are enduring in this environment, especially since the company is all about promoting mental health, mental fitness, and the cult like brainwashing that is going on. I think it's so important to give these folks a voice because of the PR and the marketing and the image management that they have surrounding this. I mean, they have a druggie and elder abuser as the face of this brand. I hope the investors see what a bad investment they're making in investing in the company with leadership who don't seem to have a clue at all. If they were smart, they would clean house at the top and get some other people in and maybe turn this ship around. But until then, I'm going to continue to keep doing this in hopes that somebody hears these voices and the company is forced to address it. And that's my commitment. Anyhow, what do you guys think? You think Harry's still working there? Do you think his visa is attached to this? What do you see for his future? Personally, I think he's going to slowly get phased out quietly and then they're going to continue. But no, we're not going to let it go because what's happening is unacceptable. But let me know your thoughts. As always, I will be back with more content. But until then, please be safe and I will talk to you later. Bye.
Such a fraud.